Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're trying to get the Roadrunner back in shape, get it ready for summer, and kind of button up a few things that we wanted to change between last year and this year. One of the big things we wanted to change is the actual front suspension. So when I converted this car over to a twin turbo car, I put in a K-member that's originally a Riley Motorsports K-member, and we had modified it a little bit in order to make room for the turbos, the turbo piping, the headers, add a little bit of clearance. So that K-member is a modified version of the RMS. So in doing so, we kind of moved this bar around, moved these out, and these came out underneath the frame rails, and we had to make some changes to the suspension. Well, while we did that, the lower control arm mount, it ended up being about a ½ inch out farther than the original was. So when we put this new K-member in, put the original lower control arms back on it, they were out a little too far, so we had the uppers all the way out to compensate for it. And we still had a ton of camber in it, so the wheels were leaning in quite a bit. And then one of the other changes I made on this was that the rack actually got raised. So we had to make some changes to correct the bump steer. So this particular piece right here was the incorrect length. So we cut them off, mocked everything up, checked the bump steer throughout, and got that corrected. So I got those pieces welded back in. And in addition to making these changes, I shortened the lower A-arms to fix the camber. And I also converted them, you can see here, I converted them from the original bushing design to a HEMI. And the original bushings had pounded out. It's not exactly a light car, it's a 4,000 pound car. So the original bushings had pounded out over time, and the lower control arms were moving. I didn't want that issue, so I didn't want it to happen again, so we just converted it to HEMIs. That way everything's smooth, the action's good, and we don't have to worry about the lower control arms moving around a little bit and bushings wallowing out, etc., etc. So got all that done, got the driver's or the passenger side done and back on. Working on the driver's side now. Got that cleaned up, a little paint on it, and we'll get that back on and installed and buttoned up. And the front suspension will be done. We can lower it on the ground, kind of throw a rough toe-in setting on it, and then get it over for an alignment. So in addition to that, there's been a little work on the Superbird, and we'll kind of give you a sneak peek on that and an update, and then we'll come back. Thanks. Checking out the Superbird. Got this thing on the rotisserie, doing a little bit with door gaps, getting that lined up. We're mounting these ugly fenders on here. They need a ton of work. They had to be matched to the doors. Chuck got all that gapped out. Looks pretty good. Ton of time involved in this thing. So we just finished splicing in a rocker panel and repairing an area on the driver's side of that. Got that finished. The back needed a ton of work here around the rear window plug. Chuck's got the filler work pretty well along the way. We'll get the Lexan window cut and see how it fits in the opening. This is the driver's side where we repaired the rocker panel. Yours truly dropped it off the lift and damaged that. There's more gap work on the door here that's Chuck's done. A lot of cutting and welding and fitting going on there. Ton of time. Looking pretty good though. So here's the area that we did the patch for the rocker. Chuck will have to do a bunch more welding to get that thing wrapped up. But all in all, it's looking pretty good. We'll get this thing color on it. Should look pretty good in petty blue. There's the other fender that needs to go on. And some of the work that Chuck has done around the scoop opening. He's going to trim this out with the 1/8" rod. Should look nice and finished when it's done. Underneath that's the intercooler tank. It's all from Chuck's. We'll get back to the finishing the suspension on the green car. See ya. All right, guys, welcome back. Hope you like the little tour of the Superbird and the update there. Hopefully we can get that particular car done and have it ready for Sick Week in 2024. So that'll be the goal. It's getting the drivetrain out of this car. And in the meantime, we'll run the green car as we're set up and ready to go for Sick Summer. As you can see, we just finished the finished this side, finished the driver's side, got the install done. There you go. It is all in there and ready to go. We put kind of an alignment on it good enough to get us to the alignment shop. So we'll get this thing down, get it aligned, and we'll get it out and get ready to go. So, all right, guys, that's it for now. We'll see you on the next video.